Hello, hi, welcome, welcome. Man, it feels like I haven't streamed in ages. I think the last stream was 5 days ago. It feels like forever, but welcome back in, everyone. I have not done any work today, so we are being productive. The last time I touched this model, the last time I touched this model was actually last stream. Finally, I have returned to watch live again. Welcome back. Long time no see. And you have chosen to return right when we are being productive and doing art. Hi, Maylene. Welcome on in. I don't know why it feels like ages since I streamed. I only missed one day. Hmm. How are you? I am doing good. I I spend most of my morning and afternoon doing driving lessons. So the evening news in the UK doesn't include a 200 car pileup on the highway, so I think I did okay. I cannot believe it. My mind cannot fathom Ordi being productive. Well, you better believe it. It's happening. Give it 5 minutes. We will go off on one random tangent, which goes off onto another, and next thing you know, 3 hours have passed. We've drawn two lines, which is an improvement from the last time, which was 3 hours and one line. So you could argue twice as productive. Now that's the average Ordi experience. You're not too wrong. Hmm. Ooh, one of the personal projects that I have taken up in my free time is I'm just trying to play around with an AI model that I run on my own PC. So yeah, I've been using a Olama and it's been pretty fun. I realized I haven't done anything programming related, at least nothing serious, for ages. And I slowly feel like I might be getting a bit rusty. So I'm like, you know what would be fun? Instead of talking about making AI VTuber, why don't I just play around and try it? So yeah, you know the lava girl model that I have? I'm thinking of bringing that one to life. The main problem that I have, because I've literally just started, it keeps making up stories and its own headcanon about who it is. I tried prompting it. If you need help, I have a core that I've been working on. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I'm mostly just playing around with it. But yeah, that would be pretty cool. We should make like a we should make a channel specifically for it on the Discord. Robot Uprising. Honestly, I think it's just like a fun gimmick. I don't think mine would be very advanced. It's mostly just shit posting probably. But I'm trying to find like a perfect balance of like tweaking its personality because literally that's the only thing I've done. I've just gone to Olama running the model and yeah, I'm literally just running Olama, getting the model and I'm giving it like the personality file. It's literally the first couple of steps. But yeah, I had a bit of fun playing around with it. First, it was a bit cringe Secondly, it turned into a delinquent and started swearing at me. Mm. Then it turned into a robot, which is devoid of soul and personality. Yeah, I'm mostly just playing around with it. I've only thrown like an hour maximum time uh at it, so yeah, there's barely any progress. But it was pretty much fun. It was pretty fun to work on. I think the thing that inspired me was PewDiePie's video where he was just playing around with like the AI stuff. So I saw that, I was like, interesting. It's not AI. You're not generating anything like art or anything, so I feel like it's okay. It's basically ChatGPT just on your computer. Hmm. Also, it only took 12 minutes for us to go off on our first tangent. I finished implementing a TTS module that is decent. Ooh, okay. I haven't gone to that stage yet. I might scrape the eyelashes. But I think it'll be fun. Um, I don't know what lore to give it. Because if you don't give it lore, it starts hallucinating weird things. So I would just test it by asking it random questions. I'm at the point where I just need to pull things together and figure out the personality. Oh, okay, we started on opposite ends of the rope. I started with personality before I figure out how everything else works. But yeah, I noticed if you don't give it a proper personality, I starts hallucinating random stuff. Some of it could be weird because I think the first couple of questions I ask it is just hello and then tell me about yourself. So it would give me lots of weird headcanon. One of them is like, I am some princess of God knows what land. I am this, I am that. At one point, I left it blank. It's like, hi, I just came back from school. I am doing my homework. And I'm like, that could be weird. So yeah, I'm mostly just messing around with it. What model did you set? I think I used Llama 3.1 with 8 billion parameters. I think yeah, I checked the ratings. Mine could run, I think, like 12 billion parameters comfortably, but a lot of the times those ratings are set for a computer that is not running things like games, OBS, VTuber models. In this case, two of them. And yes, Schizo AI, yeah. In fact, there actually is a parameter where you can like adjust its creativity in quotes. I set that to the lowest and it's still, yeah. At this point, I actually had to prompt him like you have no memories of a past life. You are a blank slate, so that it doesn't start hallucinating random and potentially inappropriate stuff. So I'm thinking, maybe Ryan, the lore could be, I have a messy place of work and I just created some homunculi to tidy up after me. So I said, the only knowledge you have is that you should not touch my magical objects. That's it. Hi, Hotchang. We're talking about building AI, making AI model. Sorry about that. But yeah, I just started playing on it. Started playing around with it. I'm just building the personality, and yeah, then I'll look forward to maybe connecting it to. I already have the model ready. I have the lava girl model that has just been sitting collecting dust for years. I might bring it to life. I might change the outfit. I actually hate the. Yeah, I hate the lava outfit. I made it when I didn't know what I was doing. So yeah, I really want to go back and rework that model. There's one of the benefits of being an RPer. I'm bad at coming up with backstories. Yeah, well, I am a forever DM of many years, so I come up with like stories at the snap of a finger. Hi, Goldie, welcome on in. We're talking about making an AI model instead of being productive. Sorry, but hi, welcome on in. I think my problem is the model tries to RP way too much. I think the first when making the personality for the first one, I'm like, you are a cute anime girl, yada yada, and it had like a ton of stuff. Excuse me. It had like a ton of stuff as well, but I think the language model just clocked into the "you are cute anime girl," and it kept saying things like "kia" and then touches fingers cutely and all sorts of nonsense like that. So I'm like, ugh, please don't, please don't emote your actions. But I couldn't stop it for like the longest time, so I might actually have to code out it's emoting. Ow, that brick gave me an idea, or I had an idea at the same time. I can change the lava girl outfit to a maid outfit. And I'm like, this is a fire elemental that I have conjured to clean my stuff. That is why it has no memories, no backstories, and responds very blankly. I also, good old brick always works. But yeah, I also was trying to stop people from being weird to it. So I'm like, you respond to rude, insulting, or just even weird comments with silence. So if you try to insult it, you try to rage bait it. All that happens is it just says sits in silence, which I think is great. At first, I thought, what if I give it like a very short temper, so it just crashes out if you make fun of it. But I realized that might backfire a bit in the sense that people might derail and spam the chat with just like profanity and insults and stuff like that towards the model. And even though they're doing it for a bit, I think like, that might be chaotic. So yeah, that's why I stick to a more adult model. Understandable. I how do you say this? The VTuber model that I plan to use for it is very adult. My main concern is making the personality an adult. We need an AI that screams for Ordi for not working. Yeah, I'll just make it a redeem. Oh, it's like the focus redeem. I could link it to that. Sounds like a nice time. Yeah, it has been pretty fun. Even if I never implement it, never use it here on stream, I had a blast working on it. I installed Visual Studio Code on this PC for like the first time ever. I used to have it on my old PC. When I got this one, it was basically only for fun, only for games, only for art. But yeah, I think I missed working on projects like that. So it was one of my resolutions. I don't wait for the new year. I just start that day. And I need to pick up a programming project, shake off the rust, because I realized I've started to forget like a lot of stuff. So yeah, it's been pretty nice. The only concern that I have is that if we talk about it, people might see, oh, the conversation is about AI, and it's like, you know, they might mistake it as generative AI, the kind that makes videos, makes images. Yeah, we don't condone that here. But you guys know how the internet is. Because I was just thinking, if I make a channel for it on Discord, what would I call it? If I name it AI stuff, it might, out of context, may not be a good idea. We can workshop it later. AI stream assistant work? Yeah, I see that working. AI has been on our search bar for a good while now. Yeah, I actually don't like it on YouTube. Sorry, not YouTube, on Google, because it's kind of just, sometimes it's nonsensical. Do you know how I Google search? I don't type in like full questions. I don't type in, what is this? I just type in the keywords, right? That way, I only find like the most relevant stuff. Um, so for example, if I'm looking for a GPU and I have like a budget of $500, for example, I don't just type, what is the best GPU for $500? That'll just lead me to blogs and all that stuff. I just type a GPU price list, $500, and maybe I'll find something. So the thing that annoys me is when I search like that, what Google's AI is like, I don't know what this means, but here is some random nonsense. So I just have to ignore it. Oh, I saw some stuff about they seem to be rolling out self-driving cars on like the street like a lot more than I thought they would. I thought they were still like illegal. I thought like it had to be, the car could be autonomous so long as there's a human driver at the wheel. But yeah, I saw some videos of self-driving cars in the wild and they do not look good. I saw one where they hit like a cat or something, and I saw some videos of it just like completely blocking a junction that is very easily navigatable, right? But the AI in the car just kind of froze because it didn't know what to do. All it would do is kind of just sit there and start honking at each other. And there's like five, six of them all at one junction, and they've all clogged the thing. In the US, there are some cities where it's legal for full autonomous. I think that's a mistake. It's new technology. New technology should never just be, hey, this looks like it works 99% of the time. Go nuts. That's a terrible thing to do. Yeah, they need a test track where they can't harm anything. They also need a human being at the driver wheel so that when anything happens, they can easily take over. I think if they have that, I wouldn't have any problem with them. Even having a person at the wheel hasn't stopped one from hitting a person. True, but at least then you have someone who is accountable. Because, like, if there's no one at the wheel, it'd be like, whoopsie, the car did an accident. Oh well, these things happen. We can't stop progress, and other nonsense. And you could go, oh well, the company owns the car, so they're responsible. The problem with companies is they're not a real person. Like, you could just start a company, do some dumb shit. The company gets in trouble. You just close it down, file for bankruptcy, yada yada yada, and just be like, oh well, start a new one. It's a lot more complicated than that, but in a nutshell, some people get away with very shady stuff like that. I think the other issue is some people have reported that Tesla is overriding the user controls and preventing them from getting to an accident. I don't know how accurate the stories are, though. You mean like the car took over and then got in an accident? Is that what you mean? Yeah. Ah. Hmm. Ooh, I did see some people complaining about it has this feature, right? Where if it is currently charging, it stops you from driving, right? So the premise is, oh, if you have forgotten to unplug the car, it won't let you drive. In case of like, oh, whoopsie, this person is so forgetful, right? But the problem is sometimes if you're charging your car and it's not a safe place and something bad is happening, you are not able to drive away without leaving the safety of your car. And I saw like that was a major concern. Drivers trying to avoid an accident and the system to control caused the accident. Yeah. I don't know if there's any regulation against the car taking control over the driver. Because at that point, the car will cause the accident and they'd be like, oh, well, there was a driver here, so he's responsible. So, guys, just get a dumb car. If it has a computer, I don't think you can avoid that these days. But yeah, the less computers it has, the dumber the car, the better. Get a Toyota from the 80s? Yeah, exactly. Wasn't there some movie where aliens were attacking? All the cars were fried except for this one guy's thing, and he was like, yeah, this doesn't have any fancy computers, so it wasn't fried when the aliens launched their EMP or some nonsense like that. What if aliens invade, huh? What will you do then? That's why you need a shitty old car. Can't wait to get my license. Then I can buy a shitty car. Finally, I don't have to use British trains, and my god, the longer I live here, the more I understand. I feel like every third train that I use has been delayed for one reason or another. I accidentally, yeah, I was supposed to go somewhere and my train was delayed for like 30 minutes. By the time the next train had arrived, same route that I always go on, same platform, same everything. It was the right train. I got on and they're like, oh, okay, since we're very delayed, we're not going to make any of the stops. We're going to go all the way to like the end. And I was supposed to get off halfway and then take a connection to someplace else, right? I was stuck on the train, crossed God knows how long, and how far, right? Because the train didn't stop where I was, supposed to go. And in the end, I had to cancel my plans. I just went all the way back home. So yeah, I was partially at fault for not realizing that they canceled the stop, but they did that at the last second. So yeah, I checked the app. They didn't update the app, but they did have some announcer. Yeah, don't want to go through that again. So car it is. Audio on the wheel that can end well. Hey, I will have you know that when I was driving, someone accidentally pulled out a bit too fast, did something wrong. I slammed onto the brakes. No one got hit. Immediately, the guy puts his head out the window, apologizes profusely, looks at my instructor, and is like, he's a good driver because I stopped suddenly. Yeah, random British man complimented me. And then I proceeded to accidentally hit the curb, but we're only focusing on the good today. Driving is actually not that hard. To be fair, I already learned how to drive many years ago. I actually do have a driver's license from my home country, and then I didn't drive for almost a decade. And I thought, okay, I'll get my British license. I'll just need to take a couple lessons, shake off the rust, and yeah, it'll be easy. I actually forgot 100% how to drive. Like, I feel like I'm starting from scratch. I do remember things like a lot faster. I only took like a week. I completed the entire training course. So now I'm just on like mock tests until my exam date. But yeah, I realized I completely forgot. And also here in the UK, they're like way more strict when it comes to the lessons. In my home country, it's such a disaster that my driving test was just go to from point A to point B. Have you managed to avoid getting hit by any of the other maniacs on the road? Okay, perfect. You pass. Here's your driver's license. He had us in the first half, not gonna lie. Almost thought Ordi could actually drive well. I mean, I can drive. Well is a bit of a stretch. Hi, Penguin. Welcome on in. We're talking about how great of a driver I am. I'm still learning. Well, learning is a strong word. Learning again because I've forgotten how to drive. It has been many, many years. Can only imagine it'll be good. Yeah, I was even thinking, man, I wish this was like my third world shithole in the sense that I don't actually have to take a proper exam. I just show up. It's more of a formality in my home country getting a driver's license. It's just you show up, you've paid the exam fee, you didn't kill anyone in like 30 seconds of driving. Here's your license. Off you go. Anyway, that's why my country's full of terrible drivers. But at the end of the day, I got my license quickly, and that's all that mattered to me. Now I have to get the British license. I tried converting mine, but they're like, oh, from your country, we don't accept that. So you have to take the test again. Man, I wish it was that easy over here. Yeah, honestly, it was a joke. I am not kidding. I showed up to the test like sweating profusely. This is when I was just getting my license. For the first time, I just reached the legal age to drive, and I was taking my test. I'm like, okay, I'm remembering all of my lessons, running through everything, all the simulations in my head, all of the things he could ask. I get in the car. He's like, okay, drive. I drive. I'm not kidding. 100 meters, right? He's like, okay, stop here. I stop. Continue driving. Continue driving. Full 30 seconds from when the test started, he's like, okay, switch, because there's like more people in the car. Like there's like three students all getting their exam. It's like, okay, switch. I get out the driver's seat, go to the back. He does the exact same for like all the other people. Then he gets us to drive all the way back to the this station. It's like, okay, you all pass. And I was like, that's it? Man, I wish it was like that here. My driver license was valid in Germany at one point due to one of our politicians was spending a lot of time there. To be fair, I looked at the laws. I can use my home country's driver's license here for like about a year. I've lived here for like 4 months, I think. Excuse me. So yeah, if I get a car, I can legally drive and show them my license, be like, hey, I can use this for like the next 6 months. My biggest concern was I forgot how to drive. I forgot how to drive, so I only thought that I'd need like a couple lessons. I was so wrong, but it's okay. I started my lessons like a month and a half before my exam. So the guy's like, well, it's a good thing you came early because we have plenty of time to go over everything. So yeah, that's a good thing. Hmm. I'm thinking, okay, I know how to do the little flesh fang here. What about neutral though? Okay, this will just be a straight line, and then when rigging it, it's a lot easier to bend. The problem with the problem with models whose default position, right, is something like this, is it becomes very hard to rig into a frown in Live 2D. So usually the best thing to do if you guys want to like start rigging a model is neutral. Even if neutral expression is like this, a good idea is to always start the layer like this, and then you can bend it. And then you can bend it like that in Live 2D later, and it becomes much smoother. So yeah, we'll make it a straight line. We can bend it later. I actually have an idea for the lashes on how it'll be rigged. Yeah, we can include them. I don't know what to call this, so I'll just call it eye bag. Okay, perfect. Unless. There we are. A little bit different, but, should be okay. By the way, this one eye has more layers than like some mascot models. That's the main difference between like a full body and a mascot. The technology is the same, it's just the complexity is very different. Usually, what I do, if the eyes are symmetrical, I just make one which has like 1,000 layers over here. The other one, I just have it as one layer. I call it placeholder because it kind of just sits there, looks pretty. And then when it comes to rigging, I just rig one, clone it, flip it. Way, way, way easier. I actually used to spend like a ton of time rigging both of them individually until I realized I didn't have to. Hmm. Look at us being productive. I think that's the bad habit I have with more complex models or full body. I tend to get lost in the art. Lost in the art, exactly. Ordi about to hit us with some philosophy between art and the mind. No, I actually don't know too much philosophy. I'm more of I'm more of a physical science guy, you know? I like things that are measurable and make sense. I still think it's very important. I'm not going to be one of those people like, what's the point? But it's just not for me. I think it's fine even without the lines. There's something I want to play around with on the assistant. If there's dead air for a random amount of time, have it spout something random. Yeah, that is something I was thinking about because mine only speaks when prompted. So I'm like, what can I do about this? I don't think I want to have it listen to Chan like just random messages unless someone is very specific and goes, "Hey, I forgot what I called it. Oh right, I creatively named it Ember. Um, a lava girl called Ember, very creative. Pat me on the back. So yeah, I think someone has to be like, "Hey Amber," and then it'll listen. Other than that, I don't think it should read the chat because then we could be having a conversation about something and it just starts adding its input randomly. So I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, spouting something random after some dead air, that could be very useful. Yeah, I was thinking of leaving chat of the loop for a while, as that could introduce bad things. Yeah, maybe a future update, but like out of the gate, yeah, I don't think it's a good idea. But my memory design can handle it. I was thinking about memory, and I was like, what if I just skip the memory part and then tell people it's just a cleaning homunculi, so it's not supposed to have memories or thoughts. It's basically like Siri, but adorable. That's my crappy it's not a bug, it's a feature defense until one day I fix it. So I decided it'll be like a long-term project because I don't feel like I have the time and energy to devote a lot of resources into it. So I'm thinking it's maybe gonna be one of those things that I just chip away at when I have time. Like those guys who have a car that's dead for like 18 years and they fix like one thing a month, you know? Yeah. I like the memory aspect so it can keep track of a task. I am lazy, so I see that as just one more thing to do. So I'm working on this just a little bit at a time. Yeah, that's how it be. I'm thinking of how to cut up the hair. You know what I wish for? The ability to not need sleep, you know? Because at least then I unlock all the hours of the day and in a healthy manner, right? Not in a, I'm not gonna go to bed, I'm gonna spend 3 days awake, snorting caffeine to stay awake. Yeah, that's not good. Now, if you didn't need to sleep, that's a different issue. So that's what I want. More time to work on hobbies. But I feel like if every single person was like that, the change in society would be dystopian. Next, you'll be hearing about like the 20-hour workday and all of that other nonsense. So yeah, it's a power I want to have for myself, but I don't want everyone to have. I want things to remain the way that they are, just that I benefit from it. Not selfish whatsoever. It's actually a superpower from one of the protagonists of a book that I read. What is it called? Renegades. Yeah, it's a pretty good book. I think it was a trilogy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not the best. I think it was for a little bit more of a younger audience because it's very comic esque, you know? So, the American Dad route. How so? I don't get that reference. There was an episode where they took a pill and went through an experiment that removed the need for sleep. That is exactly what I want. Zero side effects. Uh, just have more time in the day. You know, sometimes I'll like see some beautiful art and I was like, oh, that gives me an idea for such a beautiful model. And then I look at my long list of commissions and other work and other projects and it's like, I must conquer this mountain first and then I can conquer that one. But that's what I want. What other like super useful power? And I'm not talking about like, oh, super strength because then I will be strong and be vigilante. No, something that can help a normal human being, just like with life in general, you know? I think one idea that I had ages ago is assuming you have plot armor and the government won't hunt you down to like unlock the secrets of your power and you're just some guy, you're treated like a celebrity or whatever. Like no one cares. They're like, "Oh, that's cool." Teleportation and then you work for like the crazy rich people and you instantly transport them wherever you want to go. And you might think, well, that's just a, I don't know, glorified taxi driver, right? You need to understand the world is full of rich people who will throw barrels full of money for like the slightest convenience. If you can say, hey, snap of my fingers, I can get you from like LA to Hawaii in like 2 seconds, no jet lag, no air sickness, no nothing. It's just snap of the fingers, you're there. everyone will be throwing money at you, trying to draw your attention and rope you into private contracts, saying like you can't like work for anyone else. You only work for me. Then you take the highest bidder. You're paid millions, right? And you're set for life. Think about it. Isn't that kind of the point of the movie Limitless? I never watched it, but isn't it that movie where some guy takes a drug and then he becomes super smart? The the Cooper actor guy, Bradley Cooper, I think his name was the guy from The Hangover. Is that the movie? Yeah, but it did have side effects. It always does. Apparently, that movie like birth entire branch of pseudoscience. Because now you'll see like a ton of supplements sold online by grindset bros saying like, "Hey, take this pill, your IQ goes up by like 20 and yada yada yada." Apparently, I remember seeing this. That movie was, I think it was The Thing that sparked that whole craze of if you take this pill or this supplement or something and you become smarter. Yeah, I think it like spawned that kind of scam. I'm remembering very vaguely from I think a video that I watched about it a very long time ago. So forgive me if I misremember things. But yeah, if you want to unlock your brain's full potential, you don't need drugs. You don't need anything like that. You need good sleep, good nutrition, lots of water, and sometimes you can just eat like creatine powder because that lacking that kind of messes your brain a little bit, right? So not don't take like the amount for like someone who goes to the gym. Just I don't know, a little teaspoon or something. Sprinkle it into your cereal or something. So yeah, that's what I do with my cereal. I actually find it's a little bit helpful because I used to suffer like a lot of brain fog, and yeah, I mostly started adding it not for like brain reasons, just as a nutritional thing, because I am horrible when it comes to like nutrition. So I try to min max it. I'm like, okay, I eat like trash, so I'm just gonna have a lot of supplements to make sure that I don't miss out on anything, you know? Minor brain damage. I've never watched the movie, so I don't know. You also have to continue learning. Yeah, it's not like you eat it and you get the knowledge. It's just it makes your brain work better. Like that's the scam that they're selling. Again, very based off of the movie because I remember I think I saw the trailer of the movie. He's like, "Oh, I took this pill. I learned like 3 languages in an afternoon." So yeah, don't fall for the scams. Like I said, it's a lot easier to just be healthy. You don't need some random drugs a stranger on the internet sells you because we all know how well that goes. Ooh, we have ads coming. Before they hit, are there any Witcher fans here? And if so, thoughts on the new season? Because I just finished it. Avoiding spoilers, this is just opinions. I see Wally's rolled over. It was getting a lot of hate, but I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't too bad. Was it the best thing ever? No. Was it as good as season 1? No. Do I miss Henry Cavill? Yes. Was it awful to watch? Not really. I think the hate is how much they deviated from the story. Yeah, that's what I realize. That is why, when it comes to movies and books, it's very important. Just read or watch one. You don't need both. If you watch, if you do both, if you consume both, you will be sorely disappointed, right? And this is not just The Witcher. This is everything. Like book adaptations, very rare that people enjoy both of them. I just realized these little mascots aren't on. We have the price tag, but yeah, we forgot to spawn them in. Whoops. I'm always forgetting something. And literally dressed today, I was checking all the apps before I started streaming, and I was like, I didn't forget anything today. That's great. Yeah, I was wrong. I should have kept my mouth shut. Hi, Orca. Welcome on in. I don't like how these two are touching. Orca, quick, what are your thoughts on The Witcher? Never watched The Witcher? Fair enough. I played The Witcher 3. I like the game. Never read the books. I'm only vaguely aware of what the story is. In fact, I actually was having this oh, it's a game. Okay. It's a book series that got turned into a game that got turned into a TV show. Still don't know what it is. TLDR, Witcher is a monster hunter who is part monster, and because of that, people treat them like shit. But at the same time, are super grateful when there's a Witcher and a monster. So, you know, society. So basically, most of the women I talk to. Do you talk to monster hunters? I don't get what you talk about. Hold on, I'm just refilling my water. I think OBS like filters it out, so I know Discord doesn't. Because I was having a conversation and just filling it up, and since it was next to my mic, all people hear is just like the splashing of water as I refill my bottle. Where was I? Right. The only Witcher content that I have consumed is The Witcher 3, the game. And even then, I was just having fun with the gameplay, not too focused on the story. I did like, I was there, so I know vaguely what was going on, but didn't care too much. I thought it was interesting. It's just I wasn't the most invested. I played it a long time ago. I could fight monsters and blast them with magic. I'm not gonna be interested in politics. But yeah, That is why when I was watching the show and they deviated, I didn't really care too much. Although one thing that I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today, and we are talking about The Witcher, and she's just like a Henry Cavill fan. That's the main reason she watched the show. She's been enduring the last season, and one thing we could agree on was we don't like the new Witcher's take on Geralt, right? Because here's the thing. The whole point is that, like, oh, this is a Witcher. He's a monster hunter. He doesn't have human emotions, right? But the thing is, that's not true. He feels like, what other people feel as well. He is still human ish, right? The thing is, his actions show off that, oh, he cares. Like, he won't like have facial expressions or intonation in his voice. It's just like, I care about this person, so I'm going to go to hell and back to make sure that they're safe. But he won't like have a heartfelt speech or tears or whatever, right? His face is stone cold, his voice monotone and deadpan, but his actions are ones of affection. The new actor, what he does is he's kind of slowly letting emotion bleed into like the character's face, his voice, the way he like talks about stuff. I think that's what I didn't like about it. It's not the worst thing in the world. I wouldn't say like, oh, because of that it's unwatchable. I'm just like, that's not how I would have liked it. I don't think I even played any horror games. Yeah, there are not too many out there that I think are too interesting. I like friend slop horror games, um, like Repo. They're fun to play, not because of the horror, but because of the shenanigans caused by the stress of the horror. I haven't played it in a while. I played it a few times, not on my stream, but on one of my friend's streams. Um, it was basically her calling me by my human name every like 10 minutes. So, and then she realizes and then gasps in horror. I'm like, don't worry about it. Good times. They streamed a little bit and then they paused and they're like, okay, they're on an indefinite break. So, yeah, nobody will know. You see, the thing is, she's a content creator, right? She already has like a massive audience, like doing other stuff. I'm not gonna tell you who they are, right? So when they go live, they already have like people flocking in, and those people are there like for her, right? Because they are fans of her content and all of that stuff. They don't care who this random purple cat is. So even if she does, it's not like anyone is interested. So yeah, I didn't really mind. But I told her like, hey, I am an anonymous cat, so tone it down. I told her this before, right? I'm like, you can call me Ordi. Don't call me insert name here. And she's like, okay, got it. But the thing is, she's very used to like just quickly calling my name, like whenever she needs anything. So yeah, I told that friend, I'm like, hey, only once you get into the habit of only calling me Ordi and not doxing me every 10 minutes, maybe then we can have a proper collab where I link my chat to it as well. That day has yet to come. I don't think it's like the biggest deal, but I'm the kind who, the more layers of separation, the better. Because, sure, if this leaks, maybe people won't, it won't be the one thing that exposes me, but if it's like 10 different things people can slowly piece together. Like I've actually talked about it, like how people can cross reference details of your stories. If you tell them like, oh, I lived in this place, okay, they now know the country, they now know the town. Okay, I did X, Y, and Z. X, Y, and Z, very niche work. There's like four companies that do X, Y, and Z. Okay. He said it's a very small company. Three of these are large. There's only one that's tiny, 10 employees. Oh, he said he's a foreigner, right? They scroll through like the company profile. They see the one person that does not look like the rest, and like, okay, I have acquired his name, his face, and where he worked, and then problems arise. So yeah, there's no such thing as too cautious. The internet is a wild place. You could send a picture of a pretty flower you saw in the forest while hiking. 3 seconds later, someone is DMing you your exact coordinates. It'd be like that. I did see some people talking about it. Like one of the main concerns is not concerns, but something that a lot of people say is like, oh, I am small streamer. No one is trying to find me and stuff. That's the thing. It's a numbers game. Say for every for every 5,000 viewers, there is one creepy person who is potentially a serial killer, right? Now, if you have like 5 to 10 viewers, the chances of one of those people showing up probably very small, but it's not zero. So, never take that chance. You have to expect at least 1% of chat will be a little bit parasocial. Yeah. I don't think it's like the worst thing. I don't even think it's like unnatural. The only problem is if it starts being a problem in the sense that A, it starts affecting their IRL life, or B, it starts affecting like, you know, anyone, not just me, not just you guys, anyone's comfort, only then maybe it starts to become a problem. But if it's just like, oh my God, I love this cat so much. And I was like, oh, thanks. If that's in, no harm, no foul. But if it's things like if I miss, I don't know, I don't. What's a good example? Mm, say for example, there's like a scoreboard of like watch time or whatever. Someone is like, if I am not number one, they may not even say it like out loud or to anyone or even to themselves, but if they say, oh, I'm not the number one fan, they start feeling bad, they start getting competitive, maybe they start treating the other people with contempt and envy, you know. That's an example of bad parasocialism. So far so good. I don't think anyone here is strange, at least not that I'm aware of. um but yeah. Or people who get mad they didn't get the first in chat. You know what? The first in chat here is often so unclaimed. You can probably claim it right now. Yeah. Like I'm not even saying like jokes about like someone claiming to be, oh, I am number one fan, or even I am number one hater, right? Jokes like that are fun. When someone starts internalizing it and it starts dictating, it starts dictating their life, then it becomes a problem, you know? Hmm. Yeah, see, Hot Shack is first. Definitely. By the way, when we have time to talk about anything in the under model, you can just text me whenever. You see, the beautiful thing about text and DM, the messages can be sent, and if someone is not available, they can like reply like whenever. This is something I like to. I chew my friends out a lot because some maybe they're in a very different time zone, and maybe they prefer like calling and stuff like that, right? So I'm like, okay, if we're organizing something, it's very easy to handle it through text. If people are not always available at like the same time, texting is texting is a beautiful thing. So yeah. Also, important thing. Uh, if someone has a question, right, guys, taking notes. If you have a question and you want to ask someone, and you text them, follow the autistic cats format, and that is hello, comma, insert question, comma, thanks. Instead of hey, I have a question, and then they reply 24 hours later. Okay, what is it? Another 24 hours pass. Oh, I was wondering about this thing. You know, you could have saved like 2 days of productivity. Maybe it's just like the corpo cat in me. Hi Maxine, welcome on in. But yeah, that's I would even say one of my pet peeves. That's just one of the things I feel like people should do less. I usually do that because I like to have the attention of the person. That is useful if people are usually like available, but sometimes people are like crazy busy. Yeah. If someone is like crazy busy, like I'm guilty of this. If someone texts me something, they're like, "Hey, I need X, Y, and Z." I'm like, "Okay, I have a minute to do X, Y, and Z." I can do that very quickly. But if someone is like, "Hi" or "Hello," and I don't know what it's about, I'm like, I'm kind of busy. I don't know how much time this is going to take, so I'm gonna finish this thing first, and then I'll get back to them. But if it's something like very small, I can be like, okay, this is very quick. I can squeeze it in and then quickly get back to what I'm doing, you know? But I can understand. If people are like more free and like good texters in quotes, yeah, saying like hi, I have a question is okay. But I'm the kind who, for important stuff, projects, work, etc., quick and to the point is like my preference. But that's just a me thing. If I ask, I usually expect the answer right away, and I don't like being kept hanging, so I prefer to check if the person is available to converse. Understandable. I'm just saying, if time is of the essence, that's the way to go. Also, if you work in like the corporate world, yeah, things need to be quick and efficient. How is the Ordi? I am doing great. I want to say productive. We've basically finished the eye. We've done the nose, the blush, right? We have the face. Now we're starting on the hair. There's a lot of strands here, so which is good. If there's a lot of hair strands, that means I can make them jiggle independently. And since the hair is very fluffy and bushy, It covers the side of the face, so like the angles are way easier. But yeah, other than that, I'm doing good. Productive first half of the day. Went for driving classes. Didn't die. And yeah, all in all, good day. I did slack a little bit in the art commission department, so yeah, we're catching up with some work today. At least that is the goal before we end up getting, sidetracked and end up yapping. But anyway, I don't have a stream tomorrow, and I bought a ton of coffee. I'm gonna be crazy productive tomorrow. At least that's what I tell myself. Most likely ordinary condition. You know, I like the pun ordinary. As for the other matter, I was thinking more like set a time, extra time might be better. Yeah, I should be free tomorrow. Yeah, I should be like, what are my plans for tomorrow? I have food. My cats have food. I don't have any prior commitments. I may not leave my house tomorrow, so I'll just be at home on my PC the whole time. So yeah, I just remembered last stream we had, we were building Horny Jail in Minecraft, and on there's a Discord server for like all the stuff, a specific channel for it. I took a screenshot of what I was working on, and I asked for volunteers. There were quite a number of people who were very enthusiastic. I don't know why. I built Horny Jail. It ended up being the wrong kind of dungeon. But honestly, kind of proud of it. I feel like it's a little bland. We'll expand it, we'll make a basement, make proper torture chambers. In Minecraft, of course. Hmm. I'm trying to figure out the hair. Drawing it is one thing. I'm thinking of how would the layers like lay on top of each other so the rigging comes out nicely. Hmm. I think I like this where it's like above the eye rather than behind it. Well, the one thing I like about symmetrical models is you only need to make half of it and then you can just clone it. I want this over the eye. Something like that. Hmm. Sorry, models require like a lot of planning. That's like the biggest difference between like a live 2D model and just like an illustration. It's easy to make it look good when it's like a still image, but I'm like, how would I arrange these? Can I actually put this aside for now? Got out of the shower earlier, scrubbed my arm so hard I started bleeding. That doesn't sound good. Yeah, you're supposed to be gentle with the scrubbing. I know it's like what's it called? Even just like the standard loafers and scrubs, apparently are not too good for you because they scrub too much off. They make like very tiny cuts in your skin, which is like not good. So something like a soft silicone scrub is, I think, like recommended. You will have to do your own research. I must be clean. There's a thing. There is such a thing as being too clean. Um, if you're someone who showers like say like 2-3 times a day, assuming you don't go out, you're not like grimy and dirty and sweaty, right? You overshower, right? You're actually getting rid of all of the protective barriers of your skin. So you have things like oil, you have like an important layer of dead skin, because it's like the buffer between you and the outside world. There's also like an entire biome of bacteria that's on you. So if you're constantly scrubbing it away, right, the problem is that good bacteria stops bad bacteria from kind of populating your skin. So yeah, there's like it's an entire fascinating topic to study. These are just like the key points. You can probably do your own research. I'm no dermatologist. I'm just a cat on the internet. But yeah, there is such a thing as overdoing it. Didn't Baby No Money say he doesn't wash his hair? I don't believe that. His hair is too nice and shiny. It looks well kempt. Could be true, and that could just be natural oil. Gotta go bye. Bye bye. Thanks for stopping by. Hmm. Okay, I'm thinking the hair may need a lot more attention and brain power. So, I might do that off stream. It's a little early. Um, but it's getting kind of warm and uncomfortable here. So, I think we can call it a day. Let's see. Do you know anyone who is on?